I don't really want to be the queen. How about I'm the duchess and you're the princess? How's that?
You can be the princess.
I don't want to be a princess.
We're rolling.
Okay. Thank you. This is the New Paltz Governmental Consolidation Study Public Outreach Committee. We're having some attendance issues tonight, so this meeting will be brief. First thing we're going to do is to postpone voting on the minutes of August 29, 2012, but I will say that all the members of the committee received from Trustee Bosco a copy of the minutes on the evening of the meeting, so everyone has that as well as the minutes from the prior meeting. So we can get right into unfinished business, and the first thing is we were to have information from the members of the committee on suggested locations with contact persons for holding Speakers Bureau events or other kind of events. Once we have the data from the other committees, to put the word out to the public and to have them come and ask questions so that we can move along. So, to start the ball rolling, I have, as we were all assigned 3 of them, I have 3 which happen to be the New Paltz Rotary Club, Elting Memorial Library, and the New Paltz United Methodist Church. And the contact people and their information, which I will give to our scribe. And now, are there any others to add to that list?
Yeah, actually, you sent me an email with yours. You were quite responsible with that. I will pull it up right now. Where can I find this? Oh, here we go. Alright, so venues that Amanda contributed were Snug Harbor and I guess there isn't contact phone numbers, but there's people.
Oops.
The Gilded Otter.
Or email?
It didn't say contact info, it said contact people.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay.
Cafeteria, New Paltz. The Yellow Rooster Giallo something. El Gallo Giallo.
Thanks.
Spanish is
Water
so
Street
big.
Market.
Italian?
The My Puddle Italian.
Italian?
Yeah, it's the Golden Rooster in Italian.
Oh, it's
I actually took Italian, but yeah, you're right. It's a little rusty.
I wouldn't have known the difference, so it doesn't matter.
Main Course and Unison Arts. And the ones that I came up with were at the middle school, at the SUNY campus, or at the Elton Library.
Okay, so we got 2 for the Elting
Or
Library.
you said the Elton Library.
On the other ones that you 2 mentioned, do you have the contact people and either a phone number or email or both?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we don't, I think we should do that. Now, we can make a list such as the one I had the 3 on, or some other list, as long as it has that key data, and then as we get more, we'll add to it. So what I'm going to suggest is that when the minutes go out of this meeting, all of those will be listed in there.
Yeah.
And we've asked people to come up with 3 locations, so we're gonna ask them to come up with 3 locations plus 3 more, so that'll be 6, since they weren't here to give us their initial 3, other than the ones that will already be listed.
Okay.
And so that ought to give us a pretty good list, and we'll just keep adding to it. The next thing, next piece of homework that we had, maybe that's why we have attendance problems, we have homework. But we'll mush on. We thought it would be good, the committee decided that we would have frequently asked questions with answers, so that at some point in time, this list, which we can use in various ways, can go out to the public to give them, get them thinking about what some people have asked, and that maybe inspire them to learn about that, as well as perhaps come up with additional questions. So, I'll go first again. I have 3 questions. Now, we also, by the way, have to vet the answers to these to see if they're correct before we actually put the word out on the street.
Well, I thought we were also taking some of the questions that we didn't know the answers to and sending
That's
them to
fine.
like, the accurate committees that would be able to answer.
Right, I think even if we don't have the proposed answers, if we have the questions, then we can figure out who can tell us the right answer. First question was, if the voters adopt a coterminous form of government operating primarily as a village, will the new form of government be able to retain nonpartisan elections? And I believe the answer is yes, a townwide village would be able to retain nonpartisan elections. Because I know that at least 2/3 of the people at this table think that's very important, if not all of us.
Yeah.
I'll take 2/3 vote any day. Anyway.
He knows that both of us care.
Yeah,
We
no,
also
no,
care.
I know. I'm just surprised that he doesn't. It should be a 3/3.
Okay. I am not gonna speak with anybody until they've authorized me to say that's their position. Second question is, the supervisor of a town is the chief fiscal officer. The chief fiscal officer of a village is an appointed treasurer. If the voters adopt a coterminous form of government operating primarily as a village, who will be the chief fiscal officer? And the answer to that is an appointed treasurer. Although I think if they wanted to, they could change that, but I think that's what they had in mind, the committee had in mind. The third question, if the voters adopt a coterminous form of government operating primarily as a village, what happens to the debts of the village and town which are outstanding when the 2 municipalities are joined together? And I believe the answer is that the taxpayers for prior municipalities will be responsible for the debts incurred by the prior municipalities. And of course, the
That
new,
means each would be responsible for its own.
for their own, yeah, I mean, the taxpayers from that particular part. I think they also have power to change it if they wanted to, but I don't think they want to, at least last time I heard. Are there any other suggested questions to put on the list yet?
You gave her some in that same email, right?
Yes.
It was an attachment, a word attachment to that email. I did more than 3.
All right.
Well, you maybe get extra credit.
I didn't provide any answers though.
Well, that's all right. All right, it's all
So
right.
maybe half
Well,
extra.
the questions are more important to get on the table, and we'll find the answers.
All right. Will all rental properties be subject to a yearly inspection as they are now in the village? How will taxes be determined? The village receives more services than the town. Will my vote and influence as a village resident be weaker regarding issues affecting the village, since my officials will now be concerned about the town and the village and not just the village? Will I get less attention as a constituent since there will be less elected officials who now have to serve a larger pool of constituents? What are the general pros and cons of having one government? What if the consolidation isn't finished in 2 years? How will the elections preceding the transition period be handled? Will people be running for shorter terms in anticipation of the election of the consolidated single board? Who will be in charge of the transition period? The town and village board, or will there be a committee involved? If there are savings derived from the consolidation, will the savings be passed on to the residents, or will the surplus go to improving infrastructure and other public and community projects? Will consolidating the governments affect the grant money and state aid that is received by the village that is based on poverty rates? Will the consolidated government be using one or both of the old halls, or will a new location be determined for town/village hall? Is that happening? What will happen regarding the old buildings? Is that happening, and what will happen regarding the old buildings? Will the consolidated government be using the town or village website, or will a new one be developed? What is the purpose of having a village? Will the new board be meeting twice a month, or will they meet more often because now there will be more work for each board member to do? Also, will the new board seats be full-time to compensate for the additional work?
I don't know the answers to any of those questions really.
I think I know.
And I think some of them are to be determined.
I think I know the answers to several of those,
Okay,
but there's
good.
all, but I mean, I don't know if we have to discuss them now, but I think, you know, we can put them on there and find the people who can answer them. Some of those are things that are under study, such as the
Right.
facilities, or they're supposed to be under study.
Right.
Anyway, all right, we have, the two governments own all these buildings.
Mhm.
This is our vision of what we think the government should do, so how do we use these buildings? Should we keep some? Should we do a new one? Should we sell some? All that is supposed to be studied by the facilities subcommittee.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
I'm
I don't know
also
where they are on that
thinking,
yet, but that's what they're supposed
so we'll
to be
just
As
doing.
far as I know,
Pass
I
that
don't know
question
if
on
they've
to them.
met.
Is that Jeff's?
But I think what we should be doing here now is not just answering all of these
Right.
questions, but figuring out which questions should be answered. Because I think we need to figure out what is going to help the public
Right, well,
the most.
some of them we can find out now.
Right, exactly.
And some of them
Some
we
of
need to
them are
pass on to
future
committees that will be
questions,
able to
yeah.
answer them. Yeah.
Right. So when we get the minutes, then we'll know what all these
Yeah.
questions are, and then we can divvy up, you know, getting the answers, or have people, let people know that there are these questions out there, and during the time when they do their work, by the time they're done, we need to know what the answers are, which they should get. But I don't know if there's any that we should eliminate, because if someone had those questions, then
Then somebody
probably
else
someone
has
else will have
questions.
those
We
questions.
should separate them in the ones that we're prepared to answer now that we should be sharing with the public, and then the ones
That's
that are
more what I
going
was
to be,
thinking
yeah, that
is-
are going to be kind of
There are some things that are
delegated.
like I think, you know, I think your questions are, you know, pretty basic. We can answer them now. There are some here that are definitely like, you know, questions that the public would have right off the bat. But I think we should, you know, we can't give them too much information on any one given sheet anyway. So we should
Yeah. Well,
have
and
whatever we're
I
gonna
think-
publish first.
I think we
basically.
should get as many questions as we can, and then maybe categorize them somehow and decide. But you're right, I don't think you can send 10 pages of questions and answers, nobody will get to page 2.
Right, but I think it should
so
all
you
be
have-
available online.
No, I agree, but then say which, maybe in certain categories, put them out this time, and, you know.
Right.
The committee can discuss that, but, you know, if we had 200 questions, you know, then we can decide how to do that.
All
But
right.
I think all of them should be answered and available, and then you're gonna have to put them in some kind of structure so that someone can find the question they want without reading all 200 questions,
Right.
although it would be nice if they all read 200 questions.
And we can also make, because some of them are more general, like some of them are for people who like didn't even realize there was a separate government for town and village. And then that might lead people to like, okay, well, what is the village for? Like, what's the purpose of having a village? Like, why do we even have one? And explain like the historical reason why we what's the word? Incorporated as a village, just to give people some historical perspective, and so they can decide, okay, well then, is it not necessary anymore? Do we not need this anymore? Whatever. So yeah, some of that's more for people that are very, very little knowledge.
And
about what's
also,
going on.
we can put together presentations, whether it's a speakers bureau or on the TV or through the paper or whatever, and, you know, building blocks, you know. So this is the building block about, a little bit about the background and history. This is how, you know, there's several different kinds of municipalities under New York state law, and this is how we got what we got now, and this is what you can do, and these are the differences. All right, so now we're studying to see if we put two together, is that helpful or not? You know, and then get into the real specific things that people are concerned about. But I think that's right. So, do you have any separate ones yourself?
No.
They're all in your head.
She can have some of mine, so I have more than 3. So that was a joint effort.
What do you think about the idea of putting those out and then, I mean, should we just ask, I think if we don't give a minimum number, then people won't know, you know, what we're thinking of as far as what they should be putting in for input. Should we ask people again to do the 3 questions, or should we have them do 6 questions since
6.
we didn't hear from them? Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. 6 questions isn't difficult with all of the things that are out there. The only problem is it'll get more difficult is because they can't be the same questions of which we now have at least 10 questions. So it'll have to be different ones. So I think in the minutes it would be a good idea to say for the next meeting.
Yeah, we started calling them parties instead of meetings. More people would also show up.
Well, and I think people will take that the wrong way. The right people would, but the wrong people won't.
Yeah, but then you trick them.
Yeah, well, that's not a good thing.
All right.
It's only some of us have a sense of humor.
How many copies of this did you register?
I made one for every member of the committee.
How many is that?
It's 12. I can write on the back though.
Will
I
you?
can use it for Kleenex. I can do most anything with it.
For Kleenex, I wouldn't. Paper cuts on the nose are very, very painful. I can take it though because I have a specific purpose for one-sided paper. So if you
Okay.
aren't going to use it, I will take it from you.
Okay, it's a deal. So,
Although-
getting back, we're gonna ask for everyone to submit who isn't here tonight for the next
6
meeting.
questions.
6 questions and also 6 either groups or venues. The group may not have a venue, but we might wanna meet with them anyway. Anyone in the community, in the education community, the groups, neighborhood associations, etc. Okay,
Alright.
so the next thing on the agenda is the websites and Facebook, and that, are we postponing to the next meeting, did I hear?
Yeah, I emailed Brian a couple of days ago, but I haven't heard back from him yet, which is understandable because it was only a few days.
Well, we'll see him
so-
Wednesday, so we'll get on his case, right?
I'm probably gonna see him tonight, I'll ask him.
I sent
Alright.
it to his Gmail, so I'm assuming that I'll get to him because I know you guys are having troubles with the village email.
Well, the server is, I think the upgrade is just about done.
Okay.
So we're gonna have that all
Excellent.
sorted out and everything.
I think you have,
Alright.
I think you have my one I'm using
I-
for village business.
I email both of yours and yours. I
Okay.
always, I just
As far as I know,
pick
that
whichever
works.
one.
So, all right, so we'll all ask him and you'll follow up with him so we can have at the next meeting some kind of
Mhm.
a discussion on
Well,
those two
Yeah, what
I'm gonna
exactly
have
did you
him-
ask him?
Just what the
websites
capabilities
and the
are.
Okay.
Facebook.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to have him like walk me through some of the stuff so that I can actually like show everybody kind of what
Cool.
it can do.
That'll be,
bring my
that'll be
laptop.
great. Show and tell,
Yeah.
good. The next thing is, Ariana and I were to meet with the editor of the New Paltz Times, to see if they would cooperate with us and to talk about how that might work. You wanna talk about that?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah, we met with Deb Alexa this morning, and she was basically very open to whatever we wanted to do. Actually, I already told you this, but so this is more for the public.
Right.
Because I ran into Amanda in
I
the
think
street
we
today.
mostly know all this, that's why we're doing it, yeah.
But so for
So
I'm gonna just tell you anyway, Amanda.
please do.
Well,
I'm
we
all
met
ears.
with her this morning, and she was very open to what we like to do, and basically the kind of size of the box for public. I can't look at you now. For public
Apparently you
access.
guys weren't in the drama department.
I was the lead in the musical.
Oh, that's the problem, there's no singing, okay.
But no, we met with her, and we're gonna have basically half a page. I think that's the size of what the public access TV schedule
I
box
think
is.
she's like a box like.
No, she said that it would be the same size as that, and I thought that
Okay,
was half a
well,
page.
even if it is that big, if we,
Well,
it's in every week, that'll be
regardless,
helpful.
She said that if we have more stuff or less stuff, I think that we can send it to them, and they will put it
So
in there.
they're committed to be
Reserve.
helpful.
You
Yeah.
can always put in a picture if you don't have
She said we could send photos.
crossword puzzle, coterminous.
But I mean, I was thinking, we talked to her basically about having some kind of template that we could just plug in the information to. But we need to have somebody who will be the receiver of information and the writer of these blurbs, which I think is going to be the biggest hurdle.
We'll do
It
it.
looks like it's you, Stuart.
Okay.
We can do it at a breakfast meeting. Maybe you'll get
all right.
it done before I get there.
Sure, that's quite possible.
Or me and Ariana can do it at Snugs, and then you can revise it in the morning.
Yeah.
Breakfast. That'll be really
Um,
fun.
Next is the, did we get the master contact list of all consolidation committees?
I think it does not exist as of yet.
All right, would you,
Yes.
Wednesday night, speak to the deputy
Speak to
mayor and
Sally.
beg her to get us that list so that we can have it part of our database so that when we step off here, we won't have to be reinventing the wheel?
Have we gotten just the full list of the committees and what each committee does?
That's
We
what we're talking about.
Oh, because it's that it's a
Who
contact list.
who they are.
Yeah, no,
Who the
we
members
got
are.
that.
How-
Sally sent that to everybody. Did you never get that?
I don't think I did.
I think you did, but I will resend it to you.
All right, so let's take, so you think we have this list already?
No, we're talking about two different lists.
Okay, tell me what
What?
list we're talking about.
The
Just the basic description of what the committee is and what it does, but not who's on it.
Okay, yeah, the who's on it part is what we need.
Right.
Their contact data, because there'll be various ways we will want to use that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you'll clarify that with the deputy mayor and
yes.
let us know. And then if you receive that before the next meeting, in electronic form, I guess we can all get it, right?
Yeah, I would send it. I would send it out as soon as I receive it.
Okay. The next thing
I
is,
forwarded that to you already.
we were finding out at the last meeting that the minutes of the meeting weren't necessarily going to the village and town clerks, and I believe you have sent the minutes from these meetings to the village clerk.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think I sent it to the town clerk now that I'm realizing, but I definitely
Okay.
sent it to the village clerk.
All right, so if you would send
But I'll send it to both.
it to both after tonight
Oh.
in their cumulative minutes, right?
Yes.
Since we're not printing them, some of us aren't printing them, so it won't be a waste of paper and all that stuff. So those are the formal things we wanted to talk about and work on, and many of which were worked on, but many members of the committee weren't able to do that, so we have to. That's the last thing we'll talk about tonight, is getting them engaged in this. The other two are more or less, maybe we're gonna wanna postpone that unless you have particular ideas, to discuss any further ideas concerning media contacts, because we have the New Paltz Times and we have the Channel 23. Do we wanna talk about that now, or wait till the next meeting and open up to more general discussion? And then, further ideas on effective ways to contact residents when we get going here. In their first agenda, we had quite a list of things that we'll get to when the time comes, but if there's other things, we certainly don't want to leave anything out.
Right.
So, do either of you want to speak to that now, or should we just postpone that to the next meeting?
I mean, I'm trying to think of what I would come up with that isn't already on our list, and I'm sure there might be things, but I don't have them on my
Okay.
in my brain right now.
And maybe when we, if you, do you put the, you don't put the agenda on there, so maybe you can just list in the minutes that these things will be on the agenda for next time.
I copied everything into the agenda.
Okay.
I mean,
Very
into
good.
the minutes.
And that, I think, is all the unfinished business we have. Is there any new business to being up at this time?
I generally just put our tasks in the new business unless we have anything else.
Well, I think
I
we're gonna put in the minutes someplace about people who weren't able to submit things, what
I put that in already.
their accumulated homework is.
Yeah.
And then for the next meeting, maybe we're gonna have to try a couple of things. And what
We're gonna have to
we-
phone bank everybody.
We're gonna have to make sure that, obviously you've already sent them the minutes with the the date in it, but we won't have a date tonight for the next meeting, so we check the calendar, which should be sometime in October. And then,
I mean, it seems
We-
like we need to meet
with
sooner
our-
since this
Well-
hasn't worked out.
well, that's okay with me. So, maybe what we should do is just get together and look at the data we have on when people can come and not come to the meetings, get with the clerk and see when the room is available, and then try it again in a couple of weeks.
Okay. I mean, I'm looking at the master calendar right now. It's pretty booked the rest of this month, but
Well, we could have
maybe we could
it
do early.
early October.
How many are on the committee right now? In total?
I think there's 10 to 12.
Oh. Well, then.
I mean, us three, Sue Stagan, Randall, that's 5, Pete,
Sharon
Gail,
Applegate.
Michael's in there maybe.
If you
Gail Gallery, who's in
Yeah.
Prague.
could. Yeah.
I
Super
don't know why she
envious.
just didn't come back to the meeting. It's no loyalty at all.
Yeah.
I want to know when we were invited to Prague.
So, of the group that's here for the first week in October, Monday the 1st, moving on, I can't do Thursday, and probably Friday night is not a good time, so Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
The first, second, third?
Tuesday.
The first, second, or third, is that what you're talking about?
Mhm.
There was 2 Tuesdays a month that Gail could not do. Was it the 2nd and 4th, I think? So we could either do the 1st or 3rd.
Well,
I
so,
could do the second.
so you want to,
Not the second.
let's pick 2 or 3 potential dates and check with the clerk and so forth.
Yeah. That
So-
Tuesday the second, there's only one meeting scheduled.
All right, so that's one time. Wednesday the 3rd is,
There's like a million things scheduled.
Wednesday the 3rd?
here.
I can't do Wednesday.
Okay. Can't do Thursday. I mean, I don't care about Friday personally. Is that a problem?
I can do Friday.
I think I can do Friday. Let me. Sorry, I'm checking the village hall calendar and I'm checking my calendar. Yeah, Friday the 5th would work for me.
All right, so that's 2 potential dates. Probably don't want to meet on Monday the 8th because that's Thanksgiving in Canada. Also Columbus Day.
I was gonna say, Stuart.
Columbus Day here for the Italians or the Spanish people in the group. So Tuesday the 9th.
That would work, I think.
All right, it's the 3rd date. Next one's a village board meeting and ethics. Can't do it on Thursday or Friday. And then just to take it one more week in case it gets bad. Tuesday the 16th. It's National Bosses Day, but that's probably
no,
not a big holiday
I don't know if
around
that's
here.
gonna work.
I think I'm going to be in New York City.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Wait, are we talking about this is September, right?
October.
October.
Oh, just kidding. Totally fine.
No,
Oh,
I can't.
just kidding.
But I
Can't.
could do Friday the 12th.
I could
I mean,
probably do that
People
too.
gonna like come on a Friday.
Huh?
Are other people gonna come to this on a Friday?
They're not gonna like it. So I
What if
think,
there's beer and pizza?
like it.
I don't think it'll matter.
Maybe, yeah, we can do beer and pizza on a Friday.
Not here, but
What do you mean not here?
I think it's against policy.
We totally changed that policy.
Oh, should have figured you would have. All right, we'll look into that.
I'll bring the streamers.
Did I slip that one in? Did I go under the radar?
I think so.
No, I'm pretty sure when we changed our like room request usage, I can't think of the words. the request forms. We've scratched that.
Do we have a
Alright.
budget for therapy?
All right.
Or is this BYOP?
So, what, the week of the 15th, did we have anything?
The 18th.
That's not good for me.
Friday the 19th.
Friday the 19th. So, what do you got, 6 days now?
You weren't writing this down?
No, you were running it down. All right.
I'm getting a little nervous, though, about getting, because I mean, we haven't done much of getting anything out to the community,
But, yeah, but the thing is that,
and now we're scheduling like the next thing for like October.
all right,
And
well, if we know an
we have
earlier
this-
date that
this
we all can make, we can just
deadline.
push it for that.
Yeah, I mean, if we could try to do sometime in the end of September, it's just we have this November deadline of like, what's exactly supposed to happen in November again? All the committees do something.
Well, they're all supposed to finish up
Have-
their initial
yeah.
work by end of
Have their,
November.
like,
Because this is the thing is, I feel like the community should have some. There should be a community dialogue between, a dialogue between the public and the committees before that point. And I feel like that's a big problem with how the CAC kind of failed in the previous project. Is there was
They gotta tell us what they're considering before we put it out to the public. I mean, we can do the general stuff, but.
well, that's what I mean. We can let people know that these committees exist, that this project exists,
Yeah.
get their questions, let them know the answers to the questions that we already have, and start that circle of information so that there's at least the other committees have gotten some input from the public before they're expected to have this final whatever in November.
Well, how about Thursday the 27th of September?
That looks good on the village hall calendar. Let me look
Well,
at the
let's-
calendar.
Do you wanna try hard to do that then?
Wait. Yesterday. What was scheduled for that day?
Hmm?
Something was scheduled for that day. It's totally not on my calendar. Somebody asked me about it. Oh, Katie asked because of Yom Kippur and moving the date. That's the date they want to move the village board meeting.
Well, then we'll just move the time, whenever the special meeting is gonna
That's
last
fine with
about 2
me. I'm
minutes.
just letting you know.
So, yeah, so we'll
It's
just
not a
have to.
special meeting. It's a regular meeting.
Or is this the one where, the regular meeting? Well, then we could have it earlier than that.
Yeah,
Have it at 6:30 or something.
that works for me.
So-
Thursday, 6:30.
Well, we'll say what time it is. I mean, does it matter what time is
6
something too
p.m.
early for
September
everyone?
27th.
4:30.
Well, okay, we won't have it there.
'Cause
But I
that's
mean,
when
if it's at
work.
6 or something, that's okay.
Yeah.
So 6 or later on the 27th.
Let's try for 6. Because if our board meeting's at 7:30.
Well, I know, but when we find that out, then we'll set this one.
well,
But that's
there's
the
only
date.
one meeting on the 27th as of right now.
Can we add another task for this
course.
next meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Can we just kind of, I don't know exactly how we divvy this up, but somehow just gather the information that we have, that we could start to, just everything that we know already about what's going on, which is, one of these things will be just like what the committees are and what they're doing. The list of questions that we already have answers to. And maybe
How about
like,
the report of the
well,
steering committee?
right, well,
which
we
is-
can use the recommendation of the steering committee and also get our hands on, there was a 5-page summary at some point, but I don't know if that 5-page summary was of the final report. I feel like it wasn't. But if we could somehow get some sort of a 5-page summary, or that we can maybe boil down to a 1 or 2-page summary of the report, the final report, just with those things, we could start to get that out to the public, so that people are aware of what's going on and kind of just know what we know at this point. So that we'll have that kind of gathered and ready to put into a format that we can hand to the public starting after the next meeting.
Yeah.
Or maybe we could even, I don't know. Yeah.
No, I think that's
Or maybe
good.
we could do that with a subcommittee and bring it to the committee.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that, yeah.
Prior
We
to
don't
that.
have much
Are we looking at our
Exactly.
subcommittee?
I was gonna say.
I would guess that we are as well.
So should the three of us pick another day in September before this
Yep.
27th?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works for the three of us.
Okay.
But the 27th is, we're gonna shoot for that, and can you get me the contact list? Cause I wanna do something different about trying to get people here for that. If I have to go see more persons.
Yes, but I only have emails for these people.
Okay, whatever you have, and we'll deal with it. All right, well, what does that bring us to? Do you have a folder or data on this? I have a lot, but,
Of the consolidation stuff?
well, I mean the study part.
Yeah, I have like every draft of every
Yeah.
report from that website, from the consultants. I mean, but those are all like 20, 50, 70 plus pages each of those, and all the appendices. So
Well,
I have all of those things.
Tomorrow will probably be too early.
Do I have the expertise to pick out what's important and boil it down to one
How
page?
about
Not
Wednesday
so much.
afternoon?
Well, how about one of the 2 days that we're doing those other things, so
Actually, you know what?
I can
will.
actually go to work from.
I can actually.
How about Thursday? We have 11 to 2, right? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
How about
Thursday.
after that, after
Okay.
like
What date are we talking about?
this Thursday?
Yeah,
This
3 days from now.
Oh. Yes.
Because we have to do things at the college on tomorrow.
Yeah,
And
tomorrow we're
Thursday.
going to a student volunteer fair, and
Oh,
Thursday we're going to
I
a
might be
student
there
involvement
too.
fair.
My friend Mel.
All right, so we can
Come say hi.
well, that'll be the plan. It'll be sometime Thursday afternoon, and we'll bring our dad in.
How about Thursday after 4:30?
It's just we might have to do that firehouse thing. What time is that?
Oh God, I knew there was something Thursday.
But
I was
we
like,
have- but
what is on Thursday?
It won't
that
be at
is going
4:30
on?
though, won't it?
No, I don't know when it'll be, but it'll be right in that space between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. because that's what I get. That's the time I give the village clerk.
Well, okay. I get out of work at 3:30 on Thursday. We could meet at cafeteria where I work at 3:30.
Oh,
Or I could. I mean, a village hall is also like 2 seconds from
Caffeinated,
the
baby.
cafeteria, so I could.
All right.
Are we meeting here?
Well,
Or Thursday?
Well,
Thursday?
no,
We can meet there.
let's meet.
Yeah. Okay. So we
Let's
can
go
meet
get
there,
that
or we can even
coffee.
just meet up there and then
Oh, I
decide to
think
go
a cupcake,
elsewhere.
too.
We don't.
all right. So 3:30.
Although I heard Josie sing at the library, and she
Every-
was so good.
Everyone
Yeah.
Yeah.
will have to bring their stuff,
She's got a great voice.
Yeah, and it was so cute. She waved to me from
I don't
across
have
the street.
stuff.
and you bring your computer, and we'll bring the stuff. And by the time we're done,
Beautiful.
we'll have it.
Okay, so if, we can also just change location once we all meet at up in cafeteria.
And you can also forward it to me since you're having an aversion to printing, and I can print it up.
So I can.
And that is, so that'll be basically 2 weeks before the actual next meeting. And so we can get organized on that day, and then between that and the next meeting, have something substantial.
I think what I'm gonna do is look at the final draft of the report
Mhm.
from the consultants, and for one, I'm gonna pull out their recommendation because they also have a recommendation, so we can put that down there. And I guess just any other information that seems pertinent to understanding the final recommendation, and try to make that 1 or 2 pages.
Okay. And maybe I can also see if there's what the latest small summary is, short summary is from Peter Fairweather, perhaps.
That would be great. Writing that down.
And you'll bring the list of committee members with you so that we can come up with a strategy for that too.
And then the list of questions that we already have answers to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And maybe we'll talk to Sally and see if anyone else has any data yet that we can
Yeah.
get into. Because the budget people have been meeting for a while, so. So, is that a plan?
Sounds good.
All right, is there anything else that we should talk about?
No, but September 27th, 6 p.m. is that
Yeah.
the date we're gonna go for?
We're gonna go for that date, and then the time, we're gonna shoot for 6 p.m. and then see what happens with the firehouse tour and all those things. And find the time in there.
Okay. I feel like I'm double booking myself for things, but
I have to use a time turner like in Harry Potter.
I know. I wish I had one of those.
Nerds.
All right, last chance. Anyone have anything further to say for tonight?
So where did we stand on beer and pizza?
That's under advisement.
Okay.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Since you have a camera person here for these meetings, if they have like the FAQs, we
Mhm.
actually have questions and answers, we can separate it as a separate little program. Someone could just talk to the camera.
That would be great once we feel
That's
confident that we have the right answers. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
Yeah,
we could
that-
show
that-
that, we could show that from time to time.
and we'll put it on the website. And,
that's great. Thank
Consolidation
you.
question, set of questions A, set of questions, whatever.
right.
And
And
I
then
think-
you can have someone just talk to the cameras, or
Yeah.
you could go around.
And then either like a telethon or something, have
Yeah.
the website or the call-in number, whatever it is for people that has questions or input,
Right.
so they can see it on the screen and, yeah, good. Super.
So.
That's great. Thank you.
Sure. Village is moving their meeting from the 26th to the 27th.
It's
It's
not, that's,
it's not
because of
official.
Yom Kippur, there's
I mean,
looking at possibilities, and to my knowledge, they haven't chosen one, but
Okay.
that's a possibility.
Okay, just,
I think I'm the only Jewish person, and I don't care. I
But
just,
but it's
you know,
over by
it's
then
about
anyway,
the-
is it not? Does it
Yeah.
go from sundown to sundown?
I'm not that Jewish. Yeah, that's why I told him the first time he asked me this. I go, Stuart, I'm Jewish.
Anyway, it's under review. I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
you're planning to have another committee meeting on Thursday at 6?
The 27th,
Yes.
but the subcommittee meeting, that's different.
That's
We're
good.
just gonna
We're
check
talking about a whole committee meeting
on the
27th.
27th.
at 6 o'clock.
The time is not in stone yet, but hopefully the date is, because we need to get this rolling. And we need to check, because there's other things that she and I might have to go to.
Okay.
And,
Well,
that's the
just-
problem, these things are pending, but they don't give you a definite date right away, so we'll have to.
Well, if someone could just let us know, I'm gonna stop the.
Yeah,